Hello, good people. Eric here, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Far Out People edited by or put together by Robert Hoskins. It is a culmination, is a novella, I guess, a culmination of nothing but short stories by some. Well, I don't really know all the authors. I know Isaac Asimov is on there, and it's like 10 short stories. It ranges from, I mean, science fiction, fantasy, a little bit of mystery noir. Let's see, like one's got a real religious. I don't even know what that story is. We'll get to it, but that one was like a religious, a drama, religious drama. I'm not really sure what that one would be. So I'll let me just well let me tell you. You've seen the cover there. This is always hard. I found this book at Half Price Books in a plastic sleeve, same way I did with the the, the Forgotten Beasts of Eld, which I think this is the right side. I'm gonna put a link up here to look at that review. An unbelievable book, un just so much fun. Anyways, this book I found in that plastic sleeve at Half Price Books in this like little rack that rotates. $3 book. All these. There's a bunch of like older books in there that are just a paperback. I don't, they're I guess cheap is why they're in this rack. And I like the cover. I've been kind of putting it off for a little while just because I wasn't really in the mood for short stories, but I figured I'd push through. And overall, I enjoyed it. The ending short story was awesome. That one was a really good one. The beginning one was really fun. They were all they all had some uniqueness to them, and they were some of them were better than others. So, and I'll get into that. I'll kind of look over all of them here, but leave a comment on every one of them. Let me just go ahead and quickly just read you all the authors that are in here. I think there's about 10 short stories. Some of them range from one like 3 or 4 pages to 30 or 40. Yeah, some of them are pretty long and developed. So you got the first one is Alexi Panshin. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. Chad Oliver, Chris Neville, K.M. O'Donnell, William F. Nolan, Roger Zelansny. Zelansny, that's a tough one. Robert Hoskins, Michael Fayette, John Jakes, and Isaac Asimov is the last one. So, being a culmination of stories, these are some stories range from, let's see, 1956 to 1971 looks like the latest one. And then Robert just put them all together and then put one of his in there. So I read this over about 4 days. And the first one, where did it go? Here it is. The first one was the Destiny of Milton Gomrath by Panshin. I'm not gonna butcher that first name again. Panshin. And that one was the one I thought was like it was fantasy. Yeah, fantasy. It's just about this worker who I think he's a janitor, believes dreams of a better life. And the idea for this one is I'll get to that in a second. The idea is I love it. Like I'm sure if anyone watches this has seen this idea before, but wishing for a better life, wishing the grass is greener in another dimension or multiverse or somewhere, and but actually having that wish granted. So Milton And I think that was the dude from Office Space too. Kind of. Yeah, Milton, the one. Yeah, he took my stipper. But Milton dreaming as a janitor or whatever he is, dreaming of a better life, hating, kind of just hating where he's at, what the universe has, made him into or whatever, and wish. So he was wishing for a better life. Poof. I don't know if it was a genie or what, God, whoever, but someone. All right, wish granted. Milton, you are actually in the wrong universe. You got switched by accident. We're gonna put you in the right one. And next thing you know, he wakes up and it's the technology is gone. I don't know where he's at, like on a farmhouse, and he's essentially now he's an indentured servant, and he has to live with the pigs, clean up their, clean them up when he, and then this dude, um, not the head, just yeah, that's your job. You're gonna be sleeping with the pigs, and you're pretty much you're worse. Now Milton is worse off than what he was. So the grass is definitely not as green as his previous job. He was just non-content, not content, and it got him. Well, it made his life worse. So that one was a fun story. I enjoyed that one immensely. That was like 3 pages. Next story, we have Northwind by Chad Oliver. This one was this one was a decent one. I enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of these stories just had a real slow build up to them. Northwind, for it took for a while to find out what it was actually about. Took a minute. I feel like it was about this kind of like this huge boss of, oh, I don't even remember what it was anymore. The Federation, like he's like in charge of like I don't even know if it says it until the end, so I don't want to ruin everything like immediately when I'm trying to explain this story here. But he starts off like he's getting a bunch of reports about another planet that they've been looking at, and this planet is something's up. It's between all the planets out there, or a lot of them, this planet is special. That's what was special. And in this day and age, we're colonizing. We're way out there in the universe, colonizing different planets at a rapid rate, and we need to keep finding planets. So this guy's job, let's see, what page was it? This guy's job, Maver, Maver's job was to make sure that these planets are inhabitable by, I don't want to say Earthens, but the human race. That's part of this colony, like this the Earth something. Make sure that this planet's inhabitable, and make sure the indigenous people that are currently inhabiting it can't do what like the Native Americans did and try to take land that they think was theirs, or they think, yeah, whatever. So this dude Maver has like the worst job in humanity, and he's ruthless. I'll get to into him in a minute. So the story is Maver gets this report on his desk that there's a special planet that these group of people are barbarians, but have set up a like not a but like a head religious figure that they and political figure that they follow. And in terms of how we evolved, that being in the Stone Age, they should not be evolved enough to have this figure, this head figure, this whatever that's leading them around and having them build monuments and stuff. They're developing wrong according to this story. And Maver, is super interested. Like, okay, well, we're gonna go check it out. That's my job. So, like, if it's a special planet, we might not be able to colonize it. And lo and behold, he goes and checks it out, gets the runaround for a little bit by the dude who sent the report, and let me put the book down here. You know, spoilers. I'll tell you when to come back. I'll do something. My hands will come back up, but I'm gonna ruin the end of this story here. So spoilers. Maver, checks out this plant. After he gets to run around and all this stuff, he finds out that they're not special. This scientist who sent the report likes this civilization. They're extremely friendly and wants to save them from being colonized. So he sends out this report saying that they need 100 years. They can't what is it? Yeah, don't touch this planet. Or no, don't. Okay. Spoilers still, so don't come back yet. Sorry. Um, so Maver pretty much tells this other lawyer to draft up. They don't own this planet. Draft up the land that they're in. Give them a little bit, and we're gonna write a law that they can't. They're stuck. They have to inhabit this land that we give them. We're gonna colonize the rest of the planet, and they're um they're out of luck. Like, it is what it is. We're not gonna do. We're not gonna have another Native American situation or indigenous situation where they, laws weren't specifically written, and they're not gonna be able to. We're gonna this is gonna be airtight, and we're gonna colonize this planet airtight, and it just made Maver. Okay, come back. There you go. Spoilers are done. Come back. So that just made Maver, and you see in the beginning just a unbelievable, like, could someone could have that job, and it was interesting. You would never in Maver's court. You hated him, you reviled him for what he did, but if he didn't do it, somebody else would. So that was his justification for being a worthless human scum. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, let's see. The Price of Cimarrell by Chris Neville. Uh, this one was a good one. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was another. What was it? I don't think it has. Oh, it does have pages. Okay. Price of Cimarrell. This was another one that was like 40 pages. The last one was 20 or something. But this one, Price of Cimarrell, was 40 pages, and it was a good one. A little slow build up. You're introduced in the beginning to one character, and then another. One chapter is one character, another chapter. Another chapter is another character, and it's about this galactic federation who's in charge of like 100 planets or something, and it centers around one planet. This planet was colonized by humanity, and they are requesting of this federation like $300 billion a loan. They're requesting a loan of $300 billion and weapons, weapons to arm themselves. And you slowly learn what that's all about. And that one was a good. I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, so they've been all good, but that was good. So after this loan, this request, the Federation sends the third secretary, but he had the voice of the first secretary, and he can speak on behalf of the Federation. But his main job was to report the going ons of this planet, make a report, speak kind of on the Federation's behalf, submit his report to the president, and then at that point in time, the president will make the decision whether to give him weapons and a the loan. So it's all this bureaucrat, this secretary, third secretary goes to this planet, meets their president, has interviews with the president's staff on the inner workings of their culture and everything. Why their dollar is falling, why the unit of their economy is falling down, prices are rising, inflation's rising, and then you come to find out more and more about that this president he's losing, he's losing the balance here that he's created, and these people, this human race, when they got to this, when they colonized this planet, they took the indigenous alien race and pretty much enslaved them and covered, and morally covered it up by saying that this alien race, their religion, they were, in their religion, they love to serve, and they love, they feel that it is their benefit to serve us. But you come to find out that this human race, these colonizers have enslaved them, pretty much given them drugs that they've gotten addicted to, and so they work to get the drugs. They still like to work, but it's just corrupt. And the you learn a lot about the whole this the third secretary. He was very, like, as he's doing his interview and investigation, very just like he's an older gentleman, very quiet. Just does a lot of listening because that's what he's there to do. Does a lot of listening and doesn't always ask questions that you would think needed asking. And that just gives the interpretation that this third secretary, this guy knows what's going on. Like, he's not dumb. This guy is wise. He's not like he's listening to these sugar coated stories by these colonizers, listening to their stories, and this is, yeah, I'm just here doing a routine checkup. Don't be alarmed. This isn't an all, this is just routine. I have to do this and all this stuff. But he's not dumb. He's very smart and knows what's going on. Knows who to ask what, and he goes and visits the camp and everything. Like, even throughout the whole story, you just get this feeling of, like, what really is going on. Like, maybe there's nothing going on, and then you kind of find out, everything. It just keep more and more keep building up. Even in the end, you're like, maybe not the very end, but towards the end, what, I guess they're gonna. Who knows what's gonna? Oh, my phone's. Yeah, I mean, towards the end, you just find out uh what what it's building up to, and it was just really well handled. A little slow in the beginning, but towards the end, it really, just because you get more and more involved. So, spoilers. I'll do this. Come back when I'm done with spoilers. So I'm gonna ruin the ending. Ending is ruined. Arnold Hall. The writing was on the wall the whole time. Pretty much, foreshadowed that this third secretary knew what was going on or whatever. So, and I just, and so you kind of had an inkling of what was going to happen, but the ending was so well done. I mean, throughout this whole investigation, you learn that the planet, like 70% of people voted on the president, voted for the president that's currently in position of power. And you just learn different things. You learn about the indigenous aliens that were, in their religion and all that stuff. So this secretary goes back to the Federation, gives his report, and pretty much, the guys, the first and president are asking him, "Do you think we should give them a loan and give them weapons?" And he's like, "You'd be out of your mind to give them a loan and the weapons so they can arm themselves. No. What I would do is we need to spend billions of dollars and create something to wean these indigenous aliens off of this medicine, this well, yeah, medicine that the colonists have made them addicted to. We need to wean them off, let them do their thing, rebel, whatever it takes, and we're not going to give them anything." And also, by the way, huge spoilers here. Also, by the way, 70% of the population's insane. I come back. I loved the ending. The ending was so much fun. So, another good story. Okay, on to the next one. Like, this is gonna be an hour talking about individual stories here. Cop Out by Kim A. O'Donnell. I do not remember Cop Out 77. It might be the one that I'm thinking of. Oh wait, that was the price of Cimarrell. Okay, cop out. What currency shall pass is legal in the cycle of living? Yeah, cop out was the religious one, the religious drama or religious. I don't even know what you call it. I really don't. But it had. You'll see why it has religious. Why I can't think of any other word besides religion here. Cop out was the dialogue was like kind of not a script format, but it was hard. I had a hard time handling. I don't know. I wasn't super interested in the script, and it was very. It seemed very muddled. I wasn't 100% sure what was going on until the very end. It might be like 10 pages. I didn't even look it up. Uh, it was yeah, like 10 pages. Just different, but you find out towards the end, like it's these two people. There's these two people that are like living in the slums, I think, and are living in the streets, or they're performing a stage play of uh, uh Christ. They're redoing that, like and they're performing that whole play and the crucifixion, crucifixion, that crucif. Okay, you get me. The cross and the nails. Crucifixion, crucifying. That's what stinks about doing these by myself. I can't have anyone else. Yeah, yeah. You're saying that wrong. Whatever. Okay, so you get me, anyways. But these two people are doing this play of the crucifying. Oh, I can't think of it. So they're doing this. Next thing you know, someone sees them doing it and wants to hire them so he hires them to do this play for a public audience, and oh, this is our big debut or whatever. And long story short, spoilers, they do the play, and this guy wants them to actually perform the crucifixion, and when he doesn't, they get mad. They get mad about it. The audience gets mad, and they start kind of like in, going to the stage and beating him up and actually crucifying the one guy and beating him to a pulp to where they kill him, and then actually doing the same to the other guy. And you come to find out that these two men who are performing this play making fun of Christ and all that were actually angels. And the very ending of it is they go to they go to heaven, and they're gonna get or they go to wherever, and they're gonna get not a stern talking to, but they're gonna be punished for the blasphemy that they've been putting on down in the real world. Come on back. So that was that story. I mean, the ending was interesting, but I mean, I don't know if it was worth the build up to it. I mean, it was all right, whatever. Okay, so the next one, keep having to flip back and forth here. Papa's Planet by W.F. or not W.F. William F. Nolan. This one was interesting. A rich dude or some mega trillionaire left all his inheritance to this man, and this man also inherited his single daughter, or got with his single daughter, I guess, too. So the story takes they go. So this is science fiction. The daughter, kind of real prissy Barbie princess, wants to go to her papa's. My papa's got a planet. Let's go there for vacation. And they go to this planet that Papa bought or something, and kind of put his life into, I guess. But at this planet, they touched down onto a continent, and there was another Papa, but a different version of him. And then he they travel to Italy, Paris. They travel to all these different areas. Like not the Venice and or stuff. And everywhere they go, there's a different version, a younger version of Papa. And there's Papa in his 20s. There's Papa when when he was doing this. And I don't know if they're androids. I think they might be because they're just like they're in this role, like they were built for his daughter to see that way Papa never dies or whatever to her. So everywhere they go, there's Papa's there, and spoilers for the ending here, but Papa or the girl. I mean, you kind of find out a little bit, but the girl ends up falling in love with not Papa, but no, wait, yeah, someone who looks like someone who looks like somebody else. It now that it doesn't make sense, and I imagine it doesn't make sense you watching it. It doesn't make sense me thinking about it, but I don't think it was. I feel like it was somebody else. It's Hemingway is the dude who she falls in love with. That was like Papa's biggest. He was a huge fan of this, so maybe they put Hemingway on there, and then the dude, the guy, the husband was or fiance, whatever, became single. So that's end of spoilers. So I mean, it's this story didn't do anything for me. Truly, I mean, definitely could live without it. It was about 4 pages of my life I'll never get back. No, I mean, it wasn't bad. The concept was kind of neat, but not like super intriguing here. Let's see the next one, Angel, Dark Angel, about 10 pages. I think this is the next one. 10 pages by Robert Zalanzi, Robert Zalanzi. And what page does it start on? Robert Zalanzi, or 90. Yeah, 10 pages, 90. This one, I mean, this one was really forgettable. Another one that, I mean, I guess, yeah, very forgettable. Like it was about the Grim Reaper, who, like, he always killed people and they always died of natural cause. The later that day, the death record read natural causes, and like the way there's like a bunch of like super miniature like little paragraphs of how of people dying and they always died of natural causes because of the Grim Reaper, took them. And then one day the Grim Reaper died or something like that. And so they had to send in a retired Grim Reaper to do the job. Spoilers, the retired Grim Reaper ends up like not this isn't like your traditional Grim Reaper. I mean the dude's like 30, only has to work 2 years of service or something, or maybe 7 years of service or something like that. I mean, that was kind of cool. That was kind of a cool concept. And then he falls in love with this girl. Like it's a side tangent. Falls in love with this girl, but ends up that's who he has to reap or something. Come on back. It wasn't that interesting to me. Someone else might find it more interesting. It, you kind of find out, like I said, find out a little bit about. It was a cool it was a cool idea on the concept of death and like in the Grim Reaper, and just you always imagine I always, at least I do, there's one Grim Reaper, um but when I was at that Grim Reaper is killed or another one is, or who, I do they do this for eternity or can they retire and live like go back to humanity and live a normal life, stuff like that. So that idea was cool, but the story just, I don't know, I mean, it was alright, whatever. Nothing to really to write home about that one. Um, the the next one, oh, here we go. The next one was by Robert Hoskins, The Problem Makers, and that one was another 40 pages. And this is by the editor of this book. That one was the beginning. I wonder where it was going. It kind of reminded me of like Cloud Atlas, how you have one story on a certain group of people, another story on a certain group of people. I think there was like another one, and then you go to that was like the first saga. Then you go to the next saga, chapter 2, and you got that same group of people, those same three groups of people. That chapter and the next part chapter, and it continuously breaks up their stories with other story. Continuous stories. If you've read Cloud Atlas, you know what I'm talking about. And so the beginning is like, okay, you're introduced to a ton of people. The first story about these army vet or these. I mean, it's not clear in the beginning what they are, but the very begin the you're introduced to these raiders who are burning down this village, this little hut village, and driving and getting all the inhabitants away, like they're just like raiding this village. Okay, and then they go back and they've got axes in their hand and they've torched this village. And then they, next thing you know, they walkie in to the commander. They go back, get in their helicopter and fly to a base. What's going on here? Um, oh man, let's see, where was that one? 102. Let's see, the next one, Problem Makers, is a mysterious man who was very weird. I, I, yeah, the character in this book was just odd. He pretty much not promises himself. There's a king. There's a prince who's wanting to become a king in this not Bronze Age, maybe before like industrial, like Roman age. Technology is not that. There is no technology. Well, there is no like electronic technology or anything. And what was it that they made? And they're just making a crossbow or something like that. Some type of bow. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, this man's Carter like pro- pledges his like professes himself. Is that the word? Profess himself to this prince and says, "I will make you a king. I know how to dethrone your dad. I can make you a king if you just listen to me. I got I got an idea or whatever." And this prince is just an idiot. But he wants to make this prince the king. So that's that chapter. And then what is it? Um, then you find out. So then the next story you find out a little bit more. You find out about this one dude who's the next chapter. You find out the other third story. You find out about a dude who is like well known across 100 planets, and he's got a big conference coming up, and he's gonna make an announcement. Okay, those are the three stories. Second saga, whatever you want to call it, I have no idea, is it progresses on the raiders, and you find out why they're raiding, and then you find out a little bit more about their raiding anyway, and then the prince, you find out that he's made him a king at this point very cleverly, and then the whatever the last one I just mentioned, the conference and what happens at that, and then you find out more about oh, this is gonna bug me too. I read this today, this part, the last 100 pages today, and I have forgotten. Problem maker. Then you learn about another story, a fourth one. Ooh, about the coordinator who's thousands of years old and has every bit of humanity's knowledge. It doesn't have much of empathy or anything, and you find out about his philosophical thinking and what he's doing. Lo and behold, I'm about to ruin this whole thing here. Spoilers. Lo and behold, you find out that they're all kind of interconnected. The Raiders are trying to push these Stone Age villagers off of the equator, off to a land where, like, to the north and south, the cold, where they're not comfortable, so they will learn to they will advance. That was what they're trying to do. So these Raiders this team is doing it so they can advance and become a part of this galactic federalization. Yeah, they can become part. They can become a part of it once they advance enough. And the second one is this prince who's now a king is slowly colonizing the entire world, this planet, and bringing it under his wing, under the guidance of this one guy, in order to become part of this massive federalization, this colony again. And then the third one, same thing. This conference was put on hold, or this conference was held, and it was sabotaged in order so a couple planets wouldn't band together and um, regress and not want to look into space, like look to the stars. They were gonna like withdraw themselves from this and not be a part of the space but the interstellar age. And then you find out that the coordinator, I don't know if he ever explicitly states it, but he's kind of like he's trying to bring back. I guess there used to be like 20,000 planets in this colony, and then every one of them just kind of regressed, or a lot of planets, anyways, and they all regressed. And now this coordinator is trying to bring them back to, 20,000 years or something. But there's a lot of planets in this, and there's different groups trying to bring them all back to where they can go to explore galaxies again, and under this feder, federiza- federation, not federalization, federation. Like, jeez. Okay, so that was that one. That was a good one. I enjoyed it, like especially it reminded me of Cloud Atlas, like I said earlier. And once you understood, it kept stringing you along. Oh, where's this gonna go? Boom. Now you're into another set of characters, and you got to relearn everybody again. And then boom, there's another set of characters. And but towards the end, it just really pays off, and it was good. I enjoyed that ending. Let's see, The Problem Makers, Save Your Soul by Michael Fayette, 143. This one's about 10 pages. I see it, 143. Okay, this one doesn't remember. Oh, okay, yeah, this one. This one I could absolutely. This was 9 pages. I'll also never get back from my life. This one, this one wasn't me. Like Michael, I wasn't a big fan of. I don't know. He was. It's about a dude, I think a scientist, who's underground in a cryogenic chamber, who's in charge of this laboratory, this cryogenic chamber. And apparently, he's the only one in charge of like 350 cryogenically frozen people. And when the world ends or when humanity is depleted, a little. Yeah, that's hard. I was gonna say a little button, but then I couldn't get it oriented right. A little button will start to glow red, end of humanity, unfreeze everybody. That's it. That's the premise. Or that's explained later on, but in the beginning, you have no idea what's going on. And all you know is that there's red and blue lights flashing. It's every dang I feel like it was every other sentence. Oh, blue and light glowing. I guess it was just really giving you a sense of claustrophobia because it, like, just this red light glowing, this blue light glowing, but this scientist or whatever, this caretaker is kind of slowly is going stir crazy and alone. The definition of lonely is in here right there. That's the definition of lonely. He's going insane, and he's just envisioning all these people. I don't, he's having a party with them and everything, and then he's drawn back to reality and goes into his uh, room and just, I mean, you can tell he's just bored. He's been in there for 5 years by himself, has no one to talk to and everything, and he's imagining being with these people and the red and blue, and it's crazy, and he's going crazy with the lights, and I mean, I guess that whole writing technique was a sense to make you go insane, or I mean, make the reader just, geez, oh Pete, this would suck. I would hate to be here. Holy cow. Well, long story short, spoilers, but the alarm of humanity does go off, and he has to press the button, get the key, get the code out, go and activate all these people, and then in the end he's brought back to a party. So I guess at the end he couldn't do it and went chronically and he went completely insane. Bring it on back here. So I guess I mean, it was all right. Whatever. I wasn't big on it. I can do without that one. Let's see the next one. The Sellers of the Dream by John Lakes. This one was about 30 pages. I think, was it 30? Almost almost 40 pages. This one was like this is like noir fashion style. It's about two huge, I don't want to say they reminded me of fashion, but yeah, I guess yeah, they were fashion. They in the future, these two companies, it's like a desolate future, totalitarian future, created like you can like women can change their person, they can change their identity, they can change their skin, their hair color, their bodies, they can change their way they think to become the perfect the woman that's out in style now. That was, and they've not yet completed the man version of this. So, but it's about this investigator who, and there's a like, I feel like there's a lot of words in here that like this dude used, not like dictionary, just like I don't know, just words specific to. Oh, excuse me, it's a behind the scenes moment there. A lot of words used for this specific world, but made it very kind of hard to understand what. But towards the end, you knew what was going on. But this investigator's investigating this huge fashion new skin company. I mean, he's like an undercover photographer trying to steal secrets for another massive fashion technology, and things come down the pipe that he gets caught, his brain gets wiped, the moments that he saw get wiped anyway. But when he was doing his undercover stuff, he's seen a woman, like the latest fashion model, the latest skin model was a woman he loved a long time ago, and he was able to recognize her. And cue detectiveness, he kind of gets like they kind of disown him. The company disowns him, and he's kind of has to go out on the run and try to find. He's trying to find out who the woman was, like where he can find this woman, and finds out about the two companies. And spoilers, he finds out that the two companies are owned by one person who's like got dementia, who's slowly losing it, and he ends up finding the girl and saving the girl. And I think that was it, really. Let's bring it back. So I mean it was an interesting story. That I mean it was fashion noir. I mean it was okay just to get a. I mean the world was very complete. I thought. I mean you really got a picture of the world, which was cool, kind of reminded me of like just that cyberpunk, totalitarianism. And, you got a huge group of desolate people living in trash dump. A trash well not there, but living close to one. You visit a trash dump. It was just a very cruel world where everyone just immediately was very materialistic and would go so far as changing their humanity and bodies to be the part of the latest fashion. So that was that one. And the last one, this one was short and sweet, 2 pages, I think, three maybe, three. Exile to Hell by Isaac Asimov. Probably one of my favorites. It's a prosecutor and a defense deliberating, waiting. Are these two people are playing chess while they're waiting for an AI, a computer, to deliberate on the sentence of a man. There it is. And so they're going back and forth on what they should do with him. Should they exile him off the planet? Should they put him to death? And you find out he like destroyed equipment or something, and the like wasn't intentional, that he accidentally, what, did he intend to hurt somebody while doing it? All this stuff. So the defense lawyers arguing, like they're playing chess, and they're just as friends deliberating. You know what this, he should be exiled, he shouldn't, he should be put to death, or the crime doesn't fit the punishment. Next thing you know, the computer's done deliberating. These two have to go in the courtroom. The judge gets on the seat and looks at the computer, but he reads the final verdict from the computer. Spoilers here. Guilty. He should be exiled. Oh my goodness, the exile is the worst crime in the world. Yeah, worst crime in the world. And this is all like, holy, like, what's he gonna do? The defendant just absolutely sinks in his seat. He's stoic. Stoic to a point, but he kind of fades back, like he's gonna be exiled. And I'm gonna read you the ending. I don't know if I should. I'm gonna I'm gonna save that because it's literally the last line in the book. You know what? I'm not going to. I can't. That's why I'm doing these, because I have to talk about it. Spoilers. I don't know if I did it already, but Arnold Halt. Spoilers. Major, major spoilers. The ending, the last line of the book. They are saying how bad Exile is. Ungodly. I mean, it's just what was it? How many, he wondered, would now feel the enormity of such a punishment for any crime? How long before there would be enough humanity among man to wipe out the punishment of exile? Could anyone really think of Jenkins, the defendant, up there in space without flinching? Could they think and endure the thought of a fellowman thrown for all life among the strange, unfriendly, vicious population of a world, unbearable heat by day? And this is the second guy to go out to be exiled, and frigid cold by night. And this, like, I'm reading the very end here. Uh, um, a vicious population of a world, unbearable heat by day and frigid cold by night, of a world where the sky was harsh blue and the ground a harsher clashing green, where the dusty air moved raucously and vicious sea heaved eternally, and the gravity, the heavy, heavy, eternal pool. Who would bear the horror of condemning someone for whatever reason to leave the friendly home of the moon for that hell in the sky, Earth? Oh, when I read that, are you kidding me? Oh, I'm like, these two people are deliberating like exile. Oh, they're gonna the whole time they're gonna send them to the moon. Oh my God. Oh my, they're gonna send them to the moon. How's he gonna survive? Wrong. They're on the moon, and they're gonna send them to space and to Earth. I mean, whew, the utter twist after 2 pages. Isaac Asimov. I mean, there's a reason he's a legend. That story, 3 pages, and the twist, I like verbally gasped. I'm like, holy, what a twist! So simple. And that might be probably why it was my favorite story. It was short, and I had the an audible gasp, the biggest reaction from it. That and the first one. The middle stories were good. Okay, oh wait, bring it back. So overall, the Far Out people, I enjoyed it. This review is unbelievably long. Good lord. And yeah, I mean, if you're into short stories, definitely worth giving it a shot, or you don't have to now that I've probably laid it all out in the book or this review. So yeah, give it a shot. I don't know. No, I'm not gonna say anything else. It's good, you know, for 190 pages. It's not a bad read. So see you later.